All right, hey everyone, welcome to another episode of Trading Bitcoin. I'm your host, Tone Vays, coming to you live on this gorgeous Saturday. Man, it's been nice here all week. I've been up at the cabin in the woods of Pennsylvania, smoking. Started smoking ribs earlier this morning. This time, I am finally on Eastern time, so it is 11 a.m. Eastern time, so it matches my computer. And started doing this around an hour and a half ago. So we're already an hour and a half in. It's going to be great. I'll show you guys in a minute. But it's freaking perfect. Okay, I am running out of wood, so I'll have to chop up some wood in a little bit. Maybe I'll do it while still hanging out with you guys and on camera. This would be cool to be interactive. I messaged motorists and a couple of other people. See if they want to join. Well, I'm motorist, I'm a mechanic, but I see motorists. Motorists, if you want to join me in the stream, this way, if I have to deal with the grill or deal with chopping wood, you can like keep people company. Let me message you I'll shoot over the link to the Zoom link to the video. All right. I'm just going to zoom in on the grill for a minute. There it is, right there behind me. Oh, my camera's going to be moving. Let's move it back. All right, let's go to charts. Haven't done charts in a couple of days. Awesome law show yesterday. Also, some other breaking news, not really breaking news, but let me go to charts. I debated Peter Schiff earlier this week. The title of it was, "Is Bitcoin Dead?" And so here I am going at it with Peter Schiff, great moderator from capital.com. I tweeted it out this morning. Check it out. Dude, put the wood correctly in the fire. Well, it's correctly in there. Is just that I'm trying to regulate temperature, and the way it is right now, my temperature is, it's actually a little bit lower. It's at about 175. So that means that I can actually close this and try to get the temperature up a little bit. Not all the wood like fits. I have smaller pieces, but I gotta chop them up a little bit before they fit. But I wanted to get that big log in there. It's actually not that easy to maintain the fire throughout 7 hours, but I've already gotten the hang of it. But yeah, if motorist wants to join, you're welcome. If any other moderators want to join, you're also welcome. It's hard to get random people up here because, I don't want someone showing up naked and getting my channel banned. Okay, charts. Weekly chart. The weekly chart is showing signs of life. This is great. It's Saturday. There is a chance that this candle is actually going to close green. Bitcoin is left to its own devices over the weekend. So there's not really that much going on. I would love to see the CMF go green. I would love to see the RSI flip over. This might be it. I've been saying for a long time that I'm expecting the bottom to come this summer. July is almost over. So now all we have is about a month and a half left of summer, August and half of September. And sometime in September, I am expecting the bull market to resume. Ideally, I would like for us not to fall to 14,000. So let's see where this goes. Green candle right there. So that's very, very promising. Man, I feel so good out here. I can actually get some work done. A lot of family here today. A couple of friends are coming up today, tomorrow. And but after that, I got a whole week here. Everyone's gonna be gone. I'll have the whole thing to myself. I have no car, so I'm kind of stuck here. Hopefully there's enough food, but that's okay. It's a good time to go on a nice long fast. Otherwise, there's always bugs, and it's the woods. Maybe I'll find a bear or something. I don't know. No, but there's deer running around. So it'll be good. It'll be good, nice and relaxing. So much work to do for the financial summit before it starts. The consensus year chart. So I am sitting right at my line to consider bullish positions, but I will wait until the moving averages have flipped over. So this candle has just started. It started last night. If the price on this candle is pushing above, 21.5, and I feel that the candle is going to close above 21.5, that is a great time to potentially enter our bullish position. I was waiting to buy the perfect dip, but I don't mind this consolidation showing me a breakout, especially on a daily chart. On a daily chart, we once again bounced right off the bottom of the horizontal channel, and we're now pushing towards the top of the horizontal channel. I don't like channel breaks off the bottom. So this candle is obviously not, I can move it, and then this. But now it gets trickier, right? Because the resistance is coming right there. So what I would like to see, and this is not bad. So either I want to see a really slow move up until 22,000 and then a big violent breakout to the upside, or we get to 22,000, 21.5 to 22,000 quickly, and then we pull back to the middle of the channel, and then we pull up to the top of the channel, and then we break out above the channel. This would also allow the moving average to come in and reject the price one more time, maybe, though it is coming down a little slow. But in any case, you have the resistance of the moving average. So if we break this channel now in one fell swoop, if we break the channel in one fell swoop, one successful swoop, then I would expect a pullback to the top of the channel and then a nice move. Oh, I'm like drawing another arrow here. And then a nice move to the next moving average. That would be super nice, actually, if that is to happen. So let's see how this progresses. But I like the fact that it's in a consolidated horizontal channel, and I do expect it to stay that way. Okay, so before I go on, Financial Summit is 2 weeks away. I will be replying to the people. I'm really surprised how few people want to come to this event for free, though we're not paying for your flights. So I'm going to be replying to a lot of people here. One or two will get, a free entry. Everything's included. Attending the event for 5 days, the all-inclusive room, food, alcohol, everything, the whole shebang except the flight. Probably not an airport pickup, because that also costs, surprisingly, that's very expensive in DR. The hotel is only 15-20 minutes away from the airport. If you do have a free entry, you're going to be responsible for your own means of transportation from the airport to the hotel. But those that do pay for this at a standard rate or a tiny discount, we will pick you up at the airport as well. So I know a lot of my friends want to come, and my question is, well, no, I need people that could be potential presenters. I need traders. I need people that work at exchanges, people that have a career in trading and investing. This isn't like I can hang out with my friends anywhere, but this is a way for me to meet new people that could potentially pay for the full thing next time and contribute. So we do need people in the world of finance, trading, investing. So read the rules. Also on Instagram, another way you can submit your spot. On Instagram, we posted the same exact giveaway, and one person replied. That would be Maddie, who's great. I've never met him in person. I will absolutely meet him. He is definitely coming to the Financial Summit in Bali, because it's a lot closer to his home. He has the alpha numerics indicator, which I do have on my charts. It's right there. But I really want to spend some time with him understanding his indicator. I know his indicator utilizes the MRI a little bit as well. He uses them together. I was just chatting with him yesterday. He's all the way on the other side of the world, so he won't be able to make it to DR. It's just too far into, people have lives. I see you in there, motorist. But he is going to go to Bali because it's a lot closer to where he lives. And he's probably going to be one of the presenters. There is an entire day spent of people educating and presenting their trading strategies, their algorithms, their indicators. There's a whole day dedicated to that. And I really want him to present alphanumerics to my audience as well. And one of these days, we will do that. Probably in about 3 months when the Bali event rolls around. So he supported my work for a long time. So this is great. It would be awesome to have him there. So yeah, so he replied, but no one else did. And wow, well, like Matt, you're welcome. This happened. The reason why we have these kinds of giveaways is because normally when I do the financial summit, I pre-reserve 40 to 50 rooms. And that's what happened in Dubai, and that's what happened in Bali. And this time around, because I wanted exclusivity of the castle has 65 rooms. So I rented the entire castle. And between the depressive market conditions, we were not able to sell out the event like we did in Dubai and like we did in Bali in years past. This is why the one coming up 3 weeks from now in Bali, I have taken on a lot less financial risk. And we've only pre-booked, I think, 40 or 45 rooms like we are supposed to. And once those rooms get sold out, now I just, if someone else wants to come, I call the hotel. Do you have another room? Can I get the same rate? If they say no, I say, oh, too bad. Sorry, buddy, you're out of luck. And you can't attend these things if you're not staying there. Like, you have to stay here. You can't really attend it like, oh, can I stay at a different resort and just come there for the event? No, these are all-inclusive resorts. They are gated. They will not let you on the premises. Well, unless you are super famous. They won't let you on the premises unless you have a room there. And if the place is sold out, then the place is sold out. That's how these events normally work. But this castle is so freaking amazing that I had to rent the whole thing. And hey, you know what? That's what it's like to run your own business. That's what it's like to trade. That's what it's like to run your own business. If you make wrong business decisions, you pay for them financially and socially, mostly financially. All right. That's my rant. On that note, I'm about to go check the fire. And yeah, you can check out the website here. If you're already interested in Bali, we're already selling tickets for Bali, and people have already bought tickets for Bali. Well, so far just one bought a ticket to Bali, but I have about 20 people that are gonna do it. I'm just not harassing them to actually pay up. But there it is. That's our capacity of how many rooms we have, and that's more than enough to run a successful event. So check out the Bali information. You can check out the rooms. There's a thing called Room Upgrade, and you can see the rooms. So you either get a suite that is on the side of a cliff, and there's an elevator going down to the private beach, or you get a standalone villa with your own private pool, and that's included in the event. So these things, or you can upgrade, to a nicer suite with a private pool, a standalone 2-bedroom villa, a penthouse suite with a private pool on the rooftop. This is a private pool. This is only yours. This is a pool that belongs to your room only. And the presidential suite is where we play poker, I think. All right. I see Patrick has joined us. I'm going to cut screen share for a second. Check on my fire behind me.
Hey, Tone.
And,
just testing
brother,
my audio.
can I hear you?
Yeah, I'm just testing my audio.
I cannot hear you.
You cannot hear me?
Is that my problem, or is that your problem?
Yeah, okay.
That is your problem.
My problem, I guess. Let me switch It
It
seems
should
to
not
be
be my
working on
problem.
my end. Can you guys hear me? Mel or any of the Bernoulli, anybody else? Can you guys hear me?
Oh, maybe it is my problem. Wait. Say something else?
Yeah, testing.
Yep. We're good.
Yeah, because it was showing on my end that it was recording me. So,
Excellent.
all right.
I'm gonna check out. Hey, what's up in your world, man? What's going on?
Yeah, sure thing. We wrapped up the Pork Fest a few weeks ago, so that was really awesome. So thanks for letting us use your channel. Planning on doing it again next year, just chilling it here in New Hampshire right now. It's the best state. Just a lot of exciting. I've been running into more and more free staters in the field. Like I've been running into more and more people who have either heard about the Free State Project or are free staters themselves. So it seems like we're really taking over New Hampshire. So I'm really excited about that. What's going on with
That's
that?
nice. Hey, how did Surfer Jim's chat go with Michael, the state senator?
I don't know. I may have. This was the first time at Porkfest that I left a day early. So I did leave on, I believe, Friday or Saturday, a day before I normally leave. So I don't know. We may have to get Surfer Jim on to talk about that. This is the first I've heard of it.
Okay, yeah, because we were on Spaces together. It was on my Spaces, and Surfer Jim, as usual, asked a very controversial political question that Michael didn't want to answer. And Michael is really good at being a straight shooter. But the question he really didn't want to answer. And then Jim got kind of pissed. This is why I hate all politicians. I don't care how much you know about Bitcoin, how much you like Bitcoin, how much you like freedom. And the question was, would Michael support would Michael support secession of the state from the Union?
Oh, well, that's a really good question. And there's a lot of free staters that are openly talking about this, although it may be that he couldn't say it publicly. I don't really know who Michael is. I don't know if he's a free stater or not. I'm not sure which person you're referring to.
No, you know who Michael is. He's the moderator of my channel. That Michael.
Oh, that Mike.
Yeah.
I thought you said he's a state rep. I didn't know Mike was a state rep.
Well, isn't he running for, I'm sorry, not state, whatever government position he's running in, state senate or something, not federal.
Okay, but he's not in New Hampshire, obviously.
No, in New Hampshire.
Who? Wait. Oh, that Michael. Okay.
Jesus Christ.
I'm thinking you're talking about Muzz for a second. You had me completely confused. I'm like,
no.
What are you talking about? Muzz is running for a state rep. I had no idea who you were referring to specifically. Oh, that Michael, the Russian Michael. Okay. Yeah. Sorry. Yeah, no, Michael's a good guy. You know him. I mean, I know him. I've talked to him a few times. He's a good Bitcoiner. I don't know, but state rep is, he's running for state senate, actually, not state rep.
Right, that's exactly what I said.
Oh, I thought you said he's running for state rep. No, I'm sorry.
No, state senate, but then because you didn't understand what I'm saying, I'm like, maybe I'm an idiot. Maybe it's not.
No, I didn't know you said Mike. I just assumed you were talking about somebody else. I didn't know. Yeah, sorry. Mike is too common a name. You have to understand that. It's, Yeah,
but how many are free staters in New Hampshire at the event running for state government positions?
Yeah, not many. Okay, got it. But you do have a lot of moderators, and more than one of them are named Mike. Just so you know. All right, so Mike, he's a good guy. Well, he's running for state senate, and it's a difference because there's dozens of free staters that have been elected to the state as state reps. But to my knowledge, none have actually become state senate, although a couple have run. So if he can actually break that barrier and actually become the first free stater to actually be in the Senate of the legislature, that would be a huge win for the Free State Project. So yeah, I'm 100% on board with whatever Mike is doing in the state running for state Senate. So I think that'll be really good.
Let me try to zoom in.
Sure.
This is on live air, so this is probably a bad idea. I've done a lot of bad ideas in my life that also included live streaming. So this might be up there with one of the dumbest things to air on live television, because I'm a city guy. I'm a traveler. I don't even have a home. Meanwhile, can you see like the log and stuff?
The logs. I see a log. It's kind of small in the lower right corner.
Okay. Anyway, here we go. Hey, that worked perfectly.
Nice.
I was ready for a disaster waiting to happen. I want to try to split this into 3 pieces so they fit into my now it's harder because now it's smaller.
Go for it.
I have a chair in the way.
Yeah, the chair. Move the chair.
Okay, my first attempt, I already cut a perfect piece off. So now it's now if I miss it completely and like hit my leg, at least I got the first one in. I zoomed in too much.
You're good.
Yeah.
Go for it.
Hey,
That was perfect. That was a perfect.
there it is.
Direct hit.
Sweet. You've been up here before. It's a lot of fun.
Yeah, it was pretty cool. I think we smoked a steak or a few steaks. I'm gonna mute my audio.
Oh, okay. So now I'm be talking and chopping wood at the same time. That's great.
No, my
See, now
dog
I gotta
was barking.
concentrate.
My dog was
Now there's
barking.
like the whole world's watching. What's up?
My dog was barking, so I muted it temporarily. I don't know if the mic was picking it up or not.
Almost split it though. Oh, because there's a. See, it's a lot harder to split the wood when there's like a bark. See that corner right there? That's what made it harder to split. I should hit it a little bit harder. Hey, so Rajabov did really well in that chess tournament, man.
He sure did. He was. It was controversial that he was in the candidates tournament in the first place. In fact, Magnus Carlsen outwardly was against him being invited into the candidates tournament. He didn't think it was correct for him to be in there. But I mean, I thought it was a fair negotiation because he was supposed to be in the previous candidates tournament, and he did really well, man. He came in third. I know it shows in the standings that he's tied for third. Technically, he owns the tiebreaker against Hikaru, so he really is third. Although,
really? That's great.
Because
he should have been second because he blew that game against Rappert.
Because he was under time trouble, so he didn't really notice that he had a winning position with his bishop. And if he had more time, he probably would have caught that winning move. But because he was under time trouble, he only had like 4 minutes left. He just went for the tie, and he didn't really notice that there was a way to go for a win at that point. But the video that I sent you, which was a recap, I thought it was great because there was 2 bishops on the table. One was called a dragon bishop, and the other one was called a pawn bishop. And the guy was like, "This bishop is a dragon. This bishop is a pawn. You don't trade a dragon for a pawn." But yeah, he did good, and he did way better than expected. He came in third. You know, people like Faruja, who were expected to do well in the tournament, didn't do well. Hikaru also did better than expected. He finished, third or fourth, depending on how you look at it. And he could have come in second had he just drew or won his last game. He would have come in second in the tournament, but unfortunately for him, he lost his last game against Ding, so he came in fourth. So that would have been interesting.
Yeah, Ding came back strong, man. He won like 3 or 4 games in a row at one point.
Yeah, he's a good player. He's
all right, this is not going to be easy. This is a really thin piece of wood. I'm not even sure I should split it, but I'm going to try. I'm 3 for 3 so far, 4 for 4. Hey, there it is.
Perfect.
Wow, I should do this on camera more often.
Oh, and regarding Michael,
it wasn't this smooth this morning.
Regarding Michael, you have to understand that he's running for state senate, and if he says anything in favor of secession, every single leftist in New Hampshire is gonna say this guy's a secessionist, he's a terrorist. He's
right.
For him being diplomatic and not saying one way or another, I think is actually just fine. So Michael's a good guy. I probably will donate a little bit to his campaign. I'll probably send him a few sats. Yeah,
so those who remember the famous axe and machete picture, That came from back here. Same woods. All right, how's the meat? Wow, 200 degrees. Perfect. Hey, can you see that?
Yeah. Yeah, I can see it.
Looks awesome.
Looks really good. What kind of meat is it?
I got baby back ribs in the back and like the pork spare ribs, you know, the bone with a thick piece of meat on it in the front.
Yeah.
That's the beef stuff. Oh, I got something else. We're gonna go back to the charts in a minute, guys. Bernoulli, you want to join us on the? Well, there goes the axe. Oh wait, where's my camera? Come on. Bernoulli, if you want to join us and just chat. Oh yeah, someone asked me to check GOLD, which is a stock. Where did I get a T-shirt like that? So, these T-shirts, they're ready to go in the garbage. They're so old. So I get these T-shirts from Thailand. You saw the gray one that I wear. They have all kinds of these weird designs. They're super cool. You just get them from Thailand. Anywhere in Thailand, whether it's Bangkok, Phuket, you know, Chiang Mai. I love Thailand. I'm probably gonna go there after the Bali Financial Summit. It really sucks because the Pacific Bitcoin Conference is right after the Bali Financial Summit, and I want to stay in Asia. I haven't been to Asia in forever. I haven't been to Asia since 2019. That's the last time. I was there in 2020. I went back to Bali to just relax in early January 2020, and then I almost got stuck in South Africa after that. But so I want to spend time in Asia, so I'm going to pick up a bunch of these new shirts.
Hey, Tone, I didn't get a chance to watch your law review yesterday. I'm going to probably watch it.
Super good.
Yeah. Did you, by any chance, discuss is it Voyage or Voyager bankruptcy?
We did not. We didn't get into Voyager. We didn't get into Three Arrows. It was fun watching Adela be a little like loopy and high because she just came back from the dentist. So a lot of people noticed as well. No, we mostly talked about the new lawsuit against Solana. So people are put in a class action lawsuit that Solana is a security and that the VCs lied about the risks of the Solana token and all this stuff. Then there was another case that, and I knew this for years now, but it's finally gonna be in a court of law, that when you create a DAO, now the reason people create a DAO is to avoid regulation. The reason people create partnerships, legal partnerships like LLCs with multiple partners, corporations, is so that the corporation is legally liable and not the partners, right? Like if you and I have a partnership, but we structure it as a legal entity, if that entity does something, you are not liable for what I did, because it's well, I mean, it's a little more complicated than that, but the idea is you and I are forming a
LLC,
a legal structure, right? So that the corporation takes on some risks, and I am not liable for your stupidity, even though we're partners. But the DAO doesn't put in any legal framework, so it defaults to a partnership where you did not set up a legal structure. So in that case, if you and I have a business together, or you, me, and a bunch of other friends have a business together, but we don't have a legal structure to protect me from your stupidity, or the other way around, protect you from my stupidity, then if I do something, you are now legally liable because we are partners. And that's what this lawsuit is going to try to prove, that when you are in part of a DAO, if one member of the DAO does something illegal, every single member of that DAO is also responsible.
Yeah, that's interesting. I do want to listen to what the lawyers have to say about that, so I'm going to listen to that episode.
And then it was the Ripple SEC stuff, and then the Celsius stuff.
So what do you
the
think?
Celsius stuff was pretty
A lot
funny.
of people have been talking about this voyage, and now Celsius has done the same thing, filing for Chapter 11, which if you're a brokerage, you are not allowed to do, because Chapter 11 basically says that that the investors, if you're a brokerage, the investors are supposed to get their claims first, and Chapter 11 means that that the investors are now they're going to be last in line to get their funds back. And of course, Voyage, I believe Voyage or whatever their name is saying that they're doing this for the benefit of their investors, which is an absolute lie. And allegedly, it's the same lawyer who's filing the same Chapter 11 for both Voyager and Celsius. It's extremely shady. They're going to try to make the case that they're not a brokerage because they don't have any securities, that they're trading, but they're obviously, I mean, they meet the legal definition of securities up and down. It would be nice to have a lawyer on to discuss this with us.
Yeah, but it's hard to claim they're a brokerage, right? Because they never really had a broker dealer license. They were acting like one, in my opinion, in an illegal fashion.
But they could be a commodities broker, couldn't they? Do you need a license? I guess maybe you do need a commodities broker.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, of course. Yeah. Of course you do. Yeah. So, I mean, it's good to claim, but now you have to prove that they were one, and then they weren't registered as one. So it's kind of like what happened to our friend Ugly Old Goat. It's when he got busted for his financial shit, and he did a little bit of time for violating state financial laws, and then he gets out, and immediately the feds arrest him on federal charges, right? But so same thing here, right? I mean, yeah, they could force one thing or another, but either way, he broke so many financial laws, man. And honestly, 95% of everyone in the space broke financial laws. It's the question is who gets caught, and whoever implodes earlier will get in trouble earlier. Oh, I want to do one more unveiling. I am looking at the stock gold or gold C. There's a stock called gold. This is a gold CFD. So I don't know what. Back
in the day, we used to buy a GLD, which was an ETF. I don't know.
Yeah, but see, gold is a stock ticker as well. But where is the stock itself? Here it is. It's the Barrick Gold Corporation. So I don't know if the person wants me to look at gold, the commodity, or gold, the Barrick Gold Corporation, which is, an amazing thing. They got the ticker, but it's confusing people. So it is coming up on an MRI buy daily. And let's see what's going on a weekly. And on a weekly, you see there's a lot more downside and earnings is coming. And on a monthly, it also has a red star candle. So this is not a bullish. Oh, look at that beautiful MRI top on. Oh, wait. I have to close the lid. Where's my. There it is. Temperature got too low. It's at 175. That's no good. So I would hold off on this. I know the daily MRI buy looks great. And by the way, guys, the MRI notification service is also super good because it will tell you everything that's going on. You can set this stock for an alert. You can add it to your favorites. Gold. What's going on? Yeah, I guess it's the stock's here somewhere.
Hey, Bernoulli, you might be doxing your name. FYI.
Good. So don't say anything, Bernoulli. Stay on mute until you resolve that issue. There's where to find it. We have all the stocks in here. Oh, I should look for Barrick, actually. Oh, you better. Oh, I misspelled that. Still misspelled it. How the hell do you spell bear? 2 R's. Oh, there it is. Bear gold. I gotta add it. Indexing new asset. Okay, yeah. So no one's asked for it, so we don't have it. So we just gotta get indexed, and then it'll show up. But in any case, yep, here it is, the warning candle. And there is an MRI buy, but I would be careful. And then someone else asked me to look at another stock. I already forgot what the hell it was. Look at that smoke. Now we're cooking. Now we're cooking. Man, who sent it to me? Not this guy, not this guy, not this guy. Oh, here it is. FCX. Here it is, FCX. So it's coming off an MRI buy. It's got an extension A buy right now. But look, it's daily bearish, weekly bearish, monthly bearish across the board. You can take a shot at it, but I would be really careful. Also, earnings is coming up real soon. And if you switch to the weekly, I had a beautiful MRI top as well. I think it's another minor. And the weekly, you know, it still has plenty of room to go to the downside. Same thing with the monthly.
Hey, Tone, when you're done with this, I have a quick question to ask you.
Oh, yeah. So I'm kind of done with this. Keep an eye on a live chat. Let's look at Bitcoin one more time real quick. Short-term time frame.
It's not chart related. It's not a chart related question.
No, that's fine. That's probably even more fun. I got to start hosting spaces as the financial summit. I really want that event to see, like, I want to switch to political stuff, but I want finance to be on the financial summit brand. So I will just be one of the people doing finance and trading on a financial summit brand, but I want my personal brand to just be politics. And this way, my politics won't bleed into the financial summit. Like that one is going to be no politics talk. And my personal brand's just politics.
Before I ask the question, this George Noble gentleman you keep mentioning, I'm aware of him. I came across it. He came into the Bitcoin room and spaces and started trashing Bitcoin. So all the Bitcoin maximalists not in spaces,
yeah,
sorry,
that happens.
in Clubhouse, and all the Bitcoin Clubhouse people all hate George Noble now because of that. So when you mentioned George Noble, I was like, oh, that guy. You know, but
look, I know I can also be a bit of a dick to people, but I have a high tolerance, like, for two things. One, how much good did you do in crypto before you started doing something stupid? Like currently the Nick Carter, still, you know, I still respect Nick Carter for everything he's done. Even though he's starting to get on the,
about Nick Carter, actually.
He's starting to, you know, he's getting on the stupid train, but he's just like in the back cart of the stupid train. But he's done so much good. Like Roger Ver, I had multiple years of tolerance, right? Like Roger Ver was just moving up the train carts until he started driving the train. And someone like Richard Hart went from Bitcoin straight to driving the train. Like he didn't have any transition from getting on.
I never liked Richard Hart. If you remember, I kind of told you that I never liked him, even back when he was supposedly a Bitcoin maximalist. I just thought something was always off about the guy.
I know, I did as well, but again, I'm like so tolerant with people. Like even, you know, like Andy Hoffman started up as a Bitcoiner and then, you know, started driving the stupid bus, and now he's back to being a Bitcoiner. So I have tolerances for that. And I also have a lot of tolerances for people that have earned huge respect in the traditional markets. And George Noble is one of those guys.
Well, absolutely. Yeah. Bitcoin Tina knows him as you know, he knew him as a traditional finance guy before he came on the Clubhouse. Let me ask you the question I was going to ask you. I checked, I haven't checked today, but I checked like a few days ago, and I saw that Nick Carter was still on your Bitcoin approved list. Is he still on there? Are you planning on possibly removing him at some point, or are you just not updated?
I am. I just haven't updated that list, but okay. Yeah, so I have I need to update this quite a bit. So in my, thanks for mentioning that. So on my Twitter, there is a list. If you go to more, is it in more? Yeah, lists. So there is a public list called Bitcoin Approved. And I try to keep it to about 100 people. It has 102 now, so we can take Nick Carter off. And these are people and accounts that are pure Bitcoiners and people to follow, not only in Bitcoin, but also markets. But I don't have traditional finance guys here. I need like either Bitcoin developers or people like BTC Sessions that teach about Bitcoin, even, you know, hardcore controversial trolls like John Cavallo. But you do have to be a shitcoin minimalist to be on this list, like pretty much a maxi. So Nick Carter, sorry, buddy. And we can remove one more. There's you know, my crypto lawyers are here, but it's mostly full of either developers or the Bitcoin finance guys. James Hillebrand's always flirting with this border.
You still like Dan Held?
I still like Dan Held.
Okay. All right. Then I would recommend him.
So, I mean, I'm sure new people need to be added to this list. But yeah, like some mouse.
Oh yeah, dude, Udi. I don't know why Udi's on there. Is that no? That's not Udi. Is that him? Or
there's no way Udi was removed from this list long ago.
Maybe it's not him. Who knows?
Wait,
looks like
he's Gigi. No, there's no way Udi's here.
I thought I saw him on your list, but I'll double check.
No, impossible.
Right there, isn't that right? Yeah, right above.
Oh shit! I probably didn't recognize him. Oh no. That. Okay, good. I'm back to 100.
Okay, perfect. So
okay. Perfect. Wow, I did not even realize that was Udi. Okay, no, done. Sorry, guys.
Okay, I'm going to put that in my bio. I got Nick Carter and Udi removed from Tone's list of Bitcoin approved.
Oh God. I still like Nick Carter, but like don't like as long as like don't take it out of context, right? Like Tone now hates Nick Carter. I don't. I like Nick Carter.
Yeah, no, just because you can like someone, you know, especially his past work. I mean, there was that idiot Daniel Krawitz. And he wrote some really good stuff about Bitcoin back in like 2014, 2015.
Click on that.
Before he went completely, I don't want to say the R word, but his stuff is still good. Even it holds up today.
You know, Stoney and I go back and forth. He's such a troll, but he watches everything I do. I just followed him back.
Yeah, he's a funny guy. I actually know what oh, there's my dog. I've actually seen his face. I know what he looks like. He doesn't look anything like that picture. That's actually the picture of what's his face's dad. Not Munchin, Mnuchin. It's Mnuchin's dad. That's who that picture is.
Oh shit! I think my fire went out. Hold on. I'm gonna cut off screen share. If Stoney wants to join us in chat on live stream, feel free to send him a link, or maybe I don't know. Maybe I'll do it. I don't know. But
I don't think he'll dox his face, but maybe he'll put on like a fake face or something.
Yeah, I don't really care. But yeah, if you want to DM him, the link to this, if he wants to join. I see Bernoulli's here. I gotta check out my fire. Shit, if my fire went out, that's a pain in the ass. I got too caught up with you people. Shit, it did go out. Fuck me.
Hey, what's up, Bernoulli? Say something.
Yeah, I noticed the name thing before. I'm on my work computer, so I saw it immediately, and I was just mashed the leave button.
Yeah, it didn't show up on the stream, so you're good.
Yeah. As long as I didn't say anything.
This is another disaster waiting to happen.
Yeah, I wish Zoom would like show you your display name before you hit connect. That'd be nice.
There we go. Fire's back.
All right, I just DM'd it to Stony. Stony, if you're listening, I DM'd you on Twitter.
Well, he has to be listening, right? He took a screenshot of me chopping wood.
Yeah. Yeah, he usually doesn't comment, or he does. If he does comment, it's under another name.
Yeah, just don't dox yourself like what's his name almost just did.
Like Fish just did. Did Shelly, was Shelly the one who gave you that nickname, Fish?
Yeah, because I always use the fish avatar, and the problem was everyone on Clubhouse was too dumb to pronounce Bernoulli properly, and they kept calling me Bertoli. So I do have an avatar that's a Bertoli pasta sauce with laser eyes, but yeah, I just changed it to Fish Bernoulli on there, and yeah, now a lot of people just call me Fish.
Okay, so check this out. So a package came in. Oh, where's my camera? Jesus Christ, come on. Someone's got to make these AI cameras better. I have to like sit slow so that it follows me. Jesus. All right. So, because I ran out, because everyone keeps like begging me for these things. So these are our dealer buttons for poker games. One side is unconfiscatable, and the other side is the financial summit. So these cost me about, I don't know, 15, 20 bucks each to make. So I just ordered like 20 of these for the financial summit. And I've been trying to find good proper. So this is the package. Just arrived. This was like $300. It's from, oh yeah, I don't want to show the label. MPC playing cards. So these are like literally grand opening right now. So these are a custom made financial summit. It's for us to play poker at the financial summit. I'm about to feel how these cards are. So I used to order like Lennon cards, but these are plastic cards. Wow, these feel and sound great. So we have the gold version, and then there should be a black version. Yeah, right there. Black version on the back. So these are super cool. Let me zoom the camera out so you can see my desk. Sort of. But anyway, I want to make like custom made jokers next time.
Is Ugly Old Goat going to be one of the jokers?
I'd like to. I think they have an option, but then now it becomes more expensive. Like their jokers look pretty cool. No, I really like these. They look super awesome. The question is, how do they feel when you mix them? The print is a little bit not sharp, but they are, wow, they are super smooth. I like these, and they're plastic. Oh shit, they'll pull right under my laptop.
I still have your poker table. We used it at PorkFest. We had the poker night going on. I think it was Friday night.
Poker table.
Yeah, I still have it. I
have no clue what you're talking about.
Yeah, you for last year's PorkFest, you brought it so that we could have a poker game going. It's like in this thing. We open it up. You put it on top of a regular table.
Oh, the octagon.
Yeah, but it's not an octagon. It's more of a
tabletop.
Yeah, it's more of a oval shape, sort of. Yeah, the tabletop. It's not a complete octagon. The octagon is good for if the actual dealer is moving around the table. That table is good for if you have like a set dealer where it's more oval shaped.
You know, I forgot I even had one of those. But it's all good. But yeah, no, we're gonna have a lot of those. These are good. I like the feel of these cards. We're gonna be playing today. Like my we usually sometimes play Cards of the Family. Not poker, but other games. Oh yeah, these are super smooth. This is great. But that box was like $300. These things are not cheap. It's like $20 a deck. Super cool.
Do they have a 4-color option?
What do you mean 4-color option?
Well, I think that poker should be played with a 4-color deck. It's just so much easier to see, flushes and stuff. So the diamonds, instead of red, they will be blue, and then the clubs, instead of black, they will be green. That would be a 4-color deck.
Oh,
Yeah.
I mean, dude,
For some
they'll
reason,
custom-
casinos have not switched to 4-color decks, and I think it's because there's like some old school poker players that don't like them. They've never played online. If anybody who plays online regularly, they automatically switch their online interface to a 4-color deck. But and they basically just don't like it. They get confused by it. But
so what are these? So the clubs are green?
yeah, the clubs would be green, and the diamonds would be blue. So you have a 4-color deck. So it's a lot easier to see flushes and stuff, and you can kind of see your cards a lot easier.
I've never even thought about that. I always thought that was just a giant gimmick, but it makes total sense.
Yeah. And then if you watch like a lot of online pros, they'll have like the entire card be red. So if the entire card is red, they already know it's a heart. They don't even have to look at the suit. Or if the entire card is blue, they already know it's a diamond. They don't even have to look at the suit. So that way it's so much easier to just spot like,
You know what? The next time I order, I might do that. Yeah, of course they have that.
And just a heads up, there are some people who don't like them. And I've never understood why, but there are people who don't like the 4-color decks. But I think poker should be played with a 4-color deck.
Yeah, no, it makes total sense. I'm gonna probably order one of those and check it out. They have everything, man. You can custom make anything. You can custom make. I think you can custom make like every card has a different back. I guess that's good if you're gonna cheat.
Yes, that's a cheating thing. Did you say that it has NFC in it?
Yeah, so that's the only risk, right? Like, the only risk with playing with your own custom cards is, hey, what if you made a custom back to the card that only you know where like the extra dot is, tell you what it's an ace or whatever, you know? So it's that's the only challenge with it.
Yeah, well, Tone's not going to order that type of a card for sure. So
yeah,
nothing to worry about there. Tone's not going to be. If Tone was going to cheat, it wouldn't be at cards. It would probably be at something else. So
I'd start a shitcoin.
Yeah, exactly. Tone would start a shitcoin before he cheats at poker.
All right. All right. What live chat? Anything interesting going on there? I'm not watching.
Bernoulli's in there. He's talking. Michael Smith. Yeah. Oh, see, there's Michael Smith is there too.
That's the Michael.
That's the same Michael?
I believe so.
No, it's Michael Y, isn't it?
It is Michael Y, but that could be the I don't know. So many Michaels.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's probably a different Michael. How many live viewers we got?
271. We started out kind of slow, but we've built up. I guess maybe because of Stoney's tweet or something.
Mel was asking about Bernoulli Cat. I did finally get her to Texas. I actually still have the U-Haul truck outside. I need to finish unloading.
So safe at home for the cat, huh?
Yeah. She is now a Texas cat.
Okay. Nice. So how's work, Bernoulli? I know I think you got your job off of Clubhouse or something. So how do you like it so far? You've been doing it for over a year now, I think.
Yeah, it's pretty awesome. It's so much nicer than working on like government contracts doing engineering. The red tape, and you spend like a year designing stuff for some military aircraft, and then they're like, okay, thanks, bye. And you never actually get to see what you designed and how they implemented it. And then it sort of just disappears forever. And with this, I get to design things that it doesn't sound as cool as like, oh, I designed jet fighters, but that's actually not that cool. It just sounds cool. Designing Bitcoin mines and immersion cooling systems is really great. And the incentive is to get built out as fast as possible and start hashing. So it's immediate results. It's really, really satisfying. And I work with great people.
Yeah. So we were talking about Nick Carter earlier, and Nick Carter did write some really good stuff in defense of Bitcoin mining, in the past. And I think you've done some debunking yourself of a lot of the false narratives. Have you read any of Nick's stuff regarding defending Bitcoin mining?
Yeah, I don't think I have. But yeah, it's all the attacks are really pretty ridiculous. And I saw somebody just tweeted yesterday or the day before that like the biggest miners in Texas use as much energy as the city of Houston,
Yeah.
which is just verifiably completely false. It's just not true at all. Like I looked up how many like joules or something is what I could find that Houston uses, and I converted it. And Houston probably uses about 21 gigawatts of electricity. And no miner is that big. There's no miner using 21 gigawatts. In fact, I don't think the whole network uses 21 gigawatts. So let alone any of the individual miners in Texas.
Tone, apparently Michael Smith is not his real name. So it's somebody, I think it's your video guy or something. It might be it.
It's all good. Like, all right. Actually, I want to do a quick story because I was on Instagram. I kind of document my future career as a chef.
Hey, if I ever DM any of you on Instagram and I ask about your crypto trades, it's not me. Just FYI. Had a friend lose money.
Yeah, same here with me.
Yeah.
All right, guys. We're now live streaming while cooking and chopping wood. I can't like record myself chopping wood. That would be a disaster. Temperature is a little bit high right now. It is at just under 250. All right, guys, we're now live streaming. I got one more story because I want to open this thing up. And it is noon Eastern time. This has been in here for about 2.5 hours. It still has about 3 to 4 hours. And look at this. It's already starting to come off the bone a little bit on the beef. The pork. Noon Eastern time. This has
I got a message
for about 2.5 hours.
I got a message from Stony. I'll read it to you if you want to hear.
I guess, yeah.
Stony says he deleted the Zoom off his phone, otherwise he would have jumped on. He said, just tell Tone I love him and I agree with him 99.9% of things, including Russia and Ukraine. But I don't think people should be trading Bitcoin. And the law review yesterday was awesome. Literally my favorite. Tone is very good at hosting them. Dealing with those lawyers is like herding cats. So I guess Stony likes 99.9% of what you do.
That is literally what I said pre-live stream. And I literally said that
herding cats
to those guys. I'm like, yeah, I'd host these more often, but I don't have a producer. I don't want to read all this shit. I don't want to keep up with it. I don't want to set it up, and I don't want to herd cats. And then I have to clarify, which means you people, and trying to find a time where when you are all free. So Mel said she may want to do that stuff. So that's maybe. The suggestion was Junsef. So that's what what's his name said. Cybert is like, oh, why don't you have Junsef do it? And I love Junsef. Junsef's great. I really want to come on his podcast. He was like asking me to come on, but I was just busy. And I'm like, yeah, but I don't need another me in this stream. Like, I just need like a producer that has no reason to be on camera, which is the opposite of Junsef.
Yeah, Mel is great at organizing stuff. She helped me out with the Bitcoin lounge at PorkFest, so she's really good at organizing stuff. So
yeah, she is. And Junseth, I mean, you know, you run a risk of getting your channel banned if you have him on too much.
Yeah, no, but like that's the thing, right? Like there's really no need for another non-lawyer talking like shit on the show. It's not like he's great. But it's I'll have him. I should have him on every now and then to just talk shit. But other than that, all right. What else can we talk about here? We can go back to the charts. Anyone asking for anything?
I haven't seen anything.
What you grilling? We already answered that. But
oh yeah, I'm grilling baby back ribs. That's the whole length of the grill, and also is it spare rib or short rib? The beef one with the bone and like a big piece of meat on top of it. I forget if that's a spare rib or a short rib. I think that's a short rib. Yeah, it's a short rib.
So Tone, you think we're due for another dip?
I honestly have no idea. I have been wrong so much in the last year. It is borderline embarrassing.
I've got a cool chart that I made that I can share if you guys are interested. It's
I mean,
Sure.
it's
You want us?
almost like the Mayer multiple, but different.
Okay, how do you want to share it? Because do you want me to give you screen share? But that has a high probability of doxing something. I'm already an expert at that.
Does it let me do just a
A
one
window? Yeah, it will once I give you permission. Yeah, go ahead.
There we go. So this is, I messed around with hundreds of different variations of this. I coded it up. It's pretty simple. It's the 45-week simple moving average, and it's multiplied by 13. And there's not a good reason for that other than it just works really well. And that's the red.
That's usually how that's usually how TA works in general.
Yeah. So and then each band starting from the top and going down is 61.8% of the band above it. And what I found is, and you can, I don't think these vertical lines are really relevant, but what you find is that, you know, very early in 2011, the price made it to the upper curve, the red. It next made it to the orange curve. It next made it to the yellow curve. And then in this last bull run, we made it to the green curve. Maybe easier to look at on monthly.
No, I see it.
And the really easy, or the really interesting part to me is that it always has a pattern of coming back to this white curve.
Yep, to go back. So I'm not sure what those arrows, the point of, you can, on the right.
Yeah, so those are really close in.
so it hasn't touched the white. Well, it did touch.
It has.
It did.
Okay.
It has.
Yeah, and
so according to Bernoulli and his incredible indicator here, the bottom's in.
Yeah, and it could grind along because the 45-week is decreasing at this point. So it's possible we grind over and get a lower low, but nothing really significant, I don't think. And it's just a theory, but it's actually really amazing how well this bottom white curve acts as a support band in the bear markets. You can see back in 2015, the wick on the weekly did get 20% below that white curve. And back in 2011, we did get a close below it and a total of 21 or 22% drop below it, but it didn't last. And more recently, in the 2018 bear market, we really didn't get below that curve at all. And the same in the COVID flash crash. So, I see this bottom in 2018 doesn't look terribly dissimilar from this recent low that we made. And I don't know, I've really liked looking at this. I made it somewhere back here near 69K or shortly thereafter. And I like it a lot as just sort of a macro cycle chart. I'll publish the indicator eventually, but I just have it as code written right now.
Yeah, super cool. I like it. Oh, look who joined us, Mechanic.
Hey, what's up, man?
How are you, brother?
I'm
Shit,
alright.
you should be the one chopping wood based on where you're located and what you actually look like.
Yeah, man. Lumberjack, for real. Are you chopping on firewood, Tone?
Yeah. I gotta chop a couple of more up. I'm smoking ribs, beef and pork. And I got like 3 or 4 more hours to go.
Nice, man. I gotta get a smoker for the brisket I got. Like, I will buy the brisket and then realize, okay, well, now I need to go and buy a smoker. That's the order in which I do stuff. Apparently you can cook it in the oven, but I haven't tried that yet.
Yeah, people are telling me to use Savine. Like, look, I need a grill. I'm old school, man. Chop up the firewood and throw it in that little smoker right there. Oh shit, my temperature got too high.
All right, so what's up, guys? What happened with the price? You said it's decoupled from stocks?
I hope so. It's leading in that direction.
That's good.
Yeah. Good to see you, Mechanic. Saw you playing chess the other day. I caught the tail end of that.
Yeah, you know what? Thanks, man. I really want to get some just regular weekly chess tournaments going in the Bitcoin space because it can be
But
online.
yeah, talk to Muzz. He's got them in person. Maybe he'll just extend the brand.
Yeah.
And, what's that Twitter handle?
I think it's
Chess or
Bitcoin. Mel can probably type it in the chat, but I think it's Bitcoin Blitz Chess Club or something.
Yeah, that one. I mean, there's no reason why that can't be an in-person and an online thing, but someone needs to organize it, But it's there's already a Bitcoin chess brand happening.
Don, who's your top level? Is it Levon Aronian? Who's like your friend that's a top
Timur Radjabov.
Timur Radjabov. So
yeah.
I got to ask, man. Just change the subject if you don't answer. But years ago on Bitcoin Talk, there was someone called Chess GM who was like a top 10 grandmaster that didn't reveal his identity. That played the Bitcoin community. He would just make moves in a forum post, and we would all just debate and see what our response was. Was that him? Like, because
I can ask him, but like he's been watching my channel for a while. I'm assuming he's a Bitcoin maximalist if he's been watching my channel for a while. I don't know, but I've chatted with him. I'm going to try to, next time I do an event anywhere in Europe or Dubai, I'm going to try to bring him.
Yeah, cool. Yeah, ask him.
Maybe he'll come out to Bali, or next Dubai event, next Dubai Financial Summit. I was going to have chess tournaments at Understanding Bitcoin conferences, but I mean, we'll have one if Unconfiscatable happens again. There'll be one there. I'll see if he wants to come out. It'd be great.
Yeah, I think it's a good look having chess tournaments, especially with high-level GMs playing at Bitcoin conferences, and then you can have stuff like Connect 4 at Dogecoin conferences.
So, Mechanic, I was going to say, Mel posted the link to the Twitter handle for the Bitcoin Blitz Chess Club. Also, if somebody like Timur is going to show up to a Bitcoin event, I don't think the best use of him would be a chess tournament, although we can probably do a chess tournament as well. But I think he should do a chess simul. I think that would be perfect. Like have maybe 20 or 10 Bitcoiners who can play chess, play against the GM at the same time.
Yeah, and it would also be worth them just giving a talk, right? Why are you a Bitcoiner? Because these people are brains, man. It's better than having people like Serena Williams and other famous people that kind of get their feet wet, but then just go straight into Ethereum because they're not all that smart. Like I'm feeling like Levon Aronian and Timur Radjabov, and I think Hikaru Nakamura is into it too. I feel like Magnus Carlsen should be, even if he isn't. I feel like Magnus Carlsen's the kind of guy that would come up with a shitcoin. Actually, like just because you're clever doesn't mean you have all the scruples in the world.
Yeah, a lot of those guys, I think they're into shitcoins. I think Hikaru's into shitcoins. The Botez sisters are into shitcoins. So, unfortunately, they're not really Bitcoin maximalists.
Right. So the way this needs to be done is first we got to get Radjabov to one of our events and put him on stage, so people see that he's not there because he's a celebrity. He's there for his knowledge of the subject. And then you leverage that. And that's what you leverage to make these people understand that some of them get on stage because they're celebrities. No, we actually want to hear what this guy has to say. And we want people to hear what he has to say. Hold on, everyone seems to be going somewhere.
So Mechanic, what was your chess name on Lichess? Was it Bitcoin Teacher or something?
Yeah, Bitcoin-Teacher. Annoyingly, it won't let me change it to Mechanic, and I've got almost up to 2,000 rating on there, and I'm kind of precious about that, so I don't want to start a new account, but I should.
Yeah, that's really good, man. I've been sucking so bad lately. I'm like stuck in the 1500s. I was like almost up to 1700 at some point, but then I just stopped focusing on chess and and my ratings dropped way down to almost mid 1500s now. But yeah, I'll link up with you on League Chess there.
What time limit do you like to play?
I normally play 10 minutes, so I play rapid. I mean, I could play blitz. I just can't play bullet. Bullet, I just can't do it. I could play blitz.
Awful. Bullet is bad for your chess. It will just make you worse at playing chess. It's a stupid thing.
I feel like bullet is good for pattern recognition. So I mean, if Magnus Carlsen can play bullet and still be the best player in the world, it's probably not that bad for you. But if all you play is bullet, then maybe it's like the old joke is you like to play chess, but you don't like to think. Aha, bullet.
Yeah, I agree. I'm not sure it correlates between how good you are on slower time controls with how good you are at bullet. Like genuinely, I think bullet is its own kind of skill. I know that Capablanca was the best player.
Hey guys, real quick, because the camera follows me. I didn't dox any family members like an
No,
idiot,
nobody. Didn't see anybody.
Okay.
You interrupted Mechanic. He was saying something about Capablanca.
Oh well, yeah. Well, he had an ability to if you could set the time control for there to only be 10 seconds a move, he was the best in the world. No one could beat him there. He was just able to figure out what the best move would be in that short amount of time. He was also, I think he was a world champion at one point as well, a Cuban player. Just dope. But I mean,
Capablanca was a world champion if I'm remembering correctly. Yeah.
I can talk about my favorite chess players and chess games all day, to be honest with you.
Is it Bobby Fischer?
No, it's not Bobby Fischer, though. Obviously, Bobby Fischer's awesome, but that was more the politics of the whole thing that made it so special, right? Because it was the non-violent demonstration of Soviet Russia versus the really free America. And it was all exemplified beautifully. And you had Ayn Rand herself getting personally involved, that thing she wrote, Letter to a Chess Player, right? It was much more about that. I don't think, and obviously he was very good, very young, but I don't think he was, he doesn't quite have the fireworks that someone like Morphy had, right? Morphy was just incredible, and that was hundreds of years ago. And Kasparov took it to another level after Bobby Fischer, to be honest. And he was back in Russia again. But
I'm so disappointed in Kasparov's politics. He's just a NATO shill.
Well, me too. But then you got Edward Snowden, who's into Zcash, right? Just because people are amazing at chess doesn't mean they know amazing things about all of those other little. Bitcoin needs you to have a cursory understanding of about 5 things, right? If you're just amazing at computer science, you most likely don't get it. And if you're just into resisting the surveillance state, like Ed Snowden, then you're not going to necessarily get the importance of decentralization, being able to run a node, all that stuff. There are so many factors with it. So you have to
That's a super good point, man. We should list these properties. You have computer science. You have, anti-surveillance mindset. Also, you need an Austrian economic mindset, and probably you also what other elements? Just freedom minded, like freedom oriented.
It's true. I used to think I had a list of 5 things you needed to be able to understand. You need game theory. You need Austrian economics. You need I forget what my list contained. Some computer science and cryptography. Those can be one thing or multiple things. And there are 2 more, but I forget what they are right now.
Tone, I made a meme about this very topic. I may have stolen the idea from Mechanic. I'm not sure, but I'll send you the meme if you want to share it.
Why don't I remember what they are? Yeah, send us the meme or just
I'll send you the meme. Can I DM it to you on Twitter, Tone? It's easier to DM it on Twitter.
I don't know.
I can DM it to you, Mechanic. Either one, doesn't matter.
Yeah, send it to me. Okay. Bitcoin's actually above 21K. I'm in shock. What happened to trigger that?
Wait, what were you guys asking me? I was, but I wasn't speaking. What were you guys asking me?
I sent you a meme regarding what we were just talking about. I don't know if you want to share. I made this meme, but I may have stolen the idea from Mechanic. I'm not sure. I probably.
How did you send it? How did you send it to me?
I sent it to you DM on Twitter, but I can probably send it on Telegram too.
No, I got it. Dude, why is that your avatar? Like, it makes no sense to me.
I'll change it back eventually. I lost like 20 followers when I changed my avatar. So
stand with Somalia? What's going on over there?
Because America invaded Somalia after they told Russia that invading Ukraine is a war crime. So now I stand with Somalia because America just invaded Somalia. That's why.
Well, like the American foreign policy, like I can't think of anything more hypocritical. It's insane.
Yeah, but being a hypocrite doesn't make you wrong, right?
That's a weird statement, right? Like most of the time, yes.
No, I mean, you can, that's the point, right? That's the point no one wants to accept is if America comes to you and says, hey, you're being an aggressive, you're aggressively expanding territory and starting wars in countries you shouldn't be, they can be right, even if it's something that totally characterizes everything they ever
right,
do.
but then right, but this is why it's a weird argument, because then America invades Somalia, and now America is also in the wrong, right? Like, you are half right, but you are half wrong, so you're always 50-50, right? So one of the two sides of your hypocrisy is wrong, whether it's your or the other person.
Yeah, but I think I'm just speaking.
So if you have a hypocritic position, you're half right. So when you say you're not always wrong, I'm like, yeah, but you're always going to be half wrong.
Yeah, what I mean is it doesn't make what you're saying wrong because you do it. I think I'm just speaking as a parent because you tell your kids not to do stuff when you always do it anyway. Like prime example, eating shitty food. It's like you tell your kids you can't eat that, and they're like, "Well, you do. You eat absolute garbage all the time." I'm like, I know, but stop doing what I do. Just listen to me. Like I think that's.
So what do you guys think about that list? Is there anything I shouldn't be on there, or should I add anything if I were to update this me?
Can you send it to me? Oh no, hold on.
I may have sent it to you.
It's on the screen. It's replying to start 9.
Oh, I see. Yeah,
but it's also in July 15th, so that was like yesterday or something.
Yeah, I made the meme like several months ago, and then I
but like Bitcoin isn't memes though, right? So like I would drop that spider.
Oh no way, I'm dropping that one. That's got to be in there. It's very important. The memetics is very important to Bitcoin. Gabriel D. Vine gave a speech at one of Ugbilgo's conferences saying how important narrative is to Bitcoin, and memes is part of narrative.
Well, you have finance there, right? Like, okay, I would put money.
Finance.
I would put money instead of finance, right? I guess you can leave finance, but
you're probably right.
I would make it simpler. Like instead of cryptography, I would put computer science. Well, like I would just,
like you could break down the computer science part. There's cryptography, there's computer hardware if you want to build an ASIC. So there's a couple of different types of computer science stuff in there.
Is there a word for like, how the default position most people have is like, if there was no government, that would be anarchy and that would be terrible. Like, what is the process people go through of learning that that's bullshit and that's the result of conditioning? What is it you got to learn about?
Well, there's, I guess, unlearning, I guess. I don't really know. What's the opposite of indoctrination? If there's an unindoctrination or whatever, if there's a word.
Exdoctrination.
It's what?
Exdoctrination.
Exdoctrination.
I like it.
Hey, gentlemen, I do have stuff to do today, so I'm going to get to that. But good to see you, Mechanic. I'll look for you on Leechess so you can destroy me and make my rating even worse than it already is. And Bernoulli, good to see you again. Tone, I'll talk to you later.
Hey, brother. Yep, I got a little bit of a challenge here myself. I got a fire that is about to go out.
Bernoulli and Mechanic can hold it down. So for now.
Yeah, we'll hold it down. I've never met you before. How's it going?
Pretty good. How you doing, sir?
Yeah, all right. I'm just looking at the live UA map, seeing what's going on in Ukraine today. I saw.
Hey, so that article, right? Like Russia bans Bitcoin. They're blowing that way out of proportion.
No, he said you can't use it for transactions, right? But you can still buy it. You can still hold it. Like, I was disappointed. I was really hoping he had made it totally illegal.
Right. Like it's kind of like a similar position to all right, so how do I explain it? In countries like China and Russia and many others, the laws are, especially like the UAE, like Dubai, they explicitly say what is legal and what's illegal. In America, supposedly, it's like the other way around, right? So it's like you kind of do stuff until you find out, and then they're supposed to make a law, and then they can't act on it retroactively. So all Russia did was make it clear that they're not El Salvador. Like there's one currency in that country, and that's the ruble. That's it. That's the only legal tender there. Now, it doesn't mean that if you buy something with Bitcoin, you're going to go to prison. It doesn't mean that at all. Like in America, it's a policy very similar to the United States, where there's only one legal currency, and that's the US dollar. Now, people buy and sell stuff with Bitcoin fairly freely, and they generally don't have to worry about getting arrested for it, but people still do. So also when people claim that like Russia is a dictatorship and stuff, and they just, throw political opposition in prison, well, the United States has more people in prison for political reasons than Russia does, right? So you can't, again, some hypocrisy there. So,
yeah, Tone, this is something I've been wrestling with lately because we don't stand in very different positions when it comes to Russia, Ukraine, and our positions are kind of controversial. Tone, you got someone on camera.
Там камера. Не надо все повторить.
Oh dear, doxed.
Oh no.
So, yeah, my point is, look at someone like Yuri Bezmenov, right? You know who that is. All right, camera's off.
I don't know who that is.
So it was an ex-KGB agent that defected, went to America, gave talks in the 90s about the approach that the KGB had, and the principles of martial arts. You don't need to go into kinetic hot war. You just go there, you warp the minds of the children, you demoralize everyone, and you make it so that you can walk into the country after one generation and no one stops you because they all hate their own country and they've all torn it apart with ridiculous ideological nonsense, which is obviously what's going on in America. But what's weird is it works. You can get swept up in it, even if you see what's happening, even if you don't fall for it, all the woke nonsense. You still come to the point where, do you love America? Like, I'm not American. I don't even live there. But America has been so corrupted by nonsense that when Russia comes out and does this trivial stuff, even when Elon Musk comes out and does it, everyone just assumes it's an improvement when it isn't. Like, just because Russia will do stuff like saying, we're not going to have like graphic homosexuality in the media here. We're not going to show it to children. That's illegal. I'm saying, wow, that's a good thing in comparison to what we do here, which is, drag shows with children at them and all these ridiculous things that are obviously wrong. But it's like, this is demoralization. And it gets me to the point where I think, why am I don't want to live in Moscow. I don't want to live under a government that I can't criticize. Like, love it or hate it, I can still get online and say Joe Biden's a demented pedophile and nothing's going to happen to me. I might get kicked off Twitter or whatever, but it's not, I don't actually feel in danger doing it. In Russia, it's not the same. And in Dubai, it's not the same either. And I know, Tone, you talk about the different kinds of freedom. But like it or not, I don't want to live in Europe. I don't like the Biden administration. I hate Justin Trudeau. but also don't want to live under Vladimir Putin either. So this sort of I've been divided and conquered and demoralized to the point where I'm almost celebrating it when Russia does well in this conflict. And I just realized that's stupid, right? Why am I actually supporting Russia? I shouldn't be. That doesn't mean I support current thing and I stand with Ukraine either. Like, I see Ukraine for what it is, and it's not something I'm going to blindly patriotically support because it's got really bad issues, man. But yeah, thoughts. What are your thoughts on that? I don't know if you caught it.
No, I heard everything you said, and like almost every family member has left at the moment. Once again, I have to preference this by saying I'm half Russian and half Ukrainian. One parent's Russian, one parent's Ukrainian. A bunch of other relatives are here, but they all went to like the store and stuff. Hey, Stoney's joining us.
Nice.
And so I can give you one critical reason as to why, supporting Russia in this battle is not a crazy idea. And that's because Russia seems to be the only country that is capable of and is actively fighting the globalist, Klaus Schwab, World Economic Forum's one world government, you will own nothing and be happy, movement. They're the only one because while China is also fighting it, China is fighting it so that they could be that. And Russia seems to be the only one that is not on board with that agenda of the World Economic Forum. And they're definitely not, they don't treat their population the way China treats theirs. And this is why the greatest thing in the world that could have been done for the last 20 years is for the United States to make Russia their best friend. And that would help hold back this Marxist agenda of the World Economic Forum. And it would also hold back China quite a bit. But if Russia and the US want to kill each other, then you better start learning Chinese right now. And you better live as far away from China as you can while still learning Chinese before you are in a zone where you're living like what we see on TV right now with China in total and full control. So that's basically it. And it's just horrible what is happening over there because of it. And the Ukraine leadership is driving the bus on the world economics agenda. On Yuri, what's his last name again? Yuri Bezmenov. Yeah. So it's very, very interesting. Wow, that could have ended very badly. That was my axe falling almost on my leg. Tone in the woods. So he was absolutely right that the way that Russia was looking to destroy the United States is by infiltrating the university, infiltrating the mindset, and turning the mindset into communism, into the Marxist communist way of thinking. And they have absolutely succeeded in doing so. And then Russia collapsed and has become capitalist. And while their leadership is not a democracy, the mentality of Russians is a lot more capitalistic than the mentality of the Europeans and at least half of the Americans and most of the Canadians. So they have absolutely succeeded in achieving that goal of turning the West into a Marxist mindset, while that mindset has left Russia. It is mind-blowing what is going on. Completely mind-blowing.
Okay, so look, I agree with your heavy furniture here. I don't want to move it. If that's the case, I mean, you hit the nail on the head, because 2 days ago I put out a poll saying, is Vladimir Putin a young global leader? Because that's the question. That's the only question I'm interested in. because you can have these kinds of conflicts and still be party to the same global agenda. And I don't have the evidence I need to believe that Russia is standing up to the World Economic Forum's bullshit while everyone else is going for it. I don't have the evidence I need to believe that. That's not to say it isn't true, but that's my question to you: is how do you know that Russia isn't? Because this conflict is actually very useful to the World Economic Forum, right? It's getting everyone much closer to the "you have no energy, you own nothing" part of the whole deal. The conflict.
No, it's not. No, it's not, because like it's so funny. Oh, it's not really funny. Jesus Christ, how many times is my axe gonna fall? It's
Maybe don't chop your ankle off for this.
yeah, it's so once the conflict broke out, all these economic sanctions were designed to remove Putin from power, and in the last 3 months, we've already seen 2 young global leaders lose power and resign. What's his name? Boris Johnson in the UK, who is fully on board with the agenda. Macron in France, fully on board with the agenda.
The Italian.
Not Macron in France. Sorry. The Draghi in Italy, fully on board with the agenda. And Macron in France potentially next.
Yeah. I think Macron is fucked as well.
So they're all dropping like flies, and Trudeau, let's hope, is gone. So you can't say that this is helping the World Economic Agenda, because their people are dropping like flies.
That is true. I thought it was helping to the extent that it's putting pressure on food and energy consumption, which is 2 of their main agendas, right? I don't know if you've seen that. Have you seen that animated video of Bill Gates?
Which one? The one that starts off with "Hello, useless eaters"?
Yes.
Oh yeah, I saw that like a year and a half ago or something.
Oh my god, the wrists, the way they get his wrists so well. These it just he's such a perfect villain, man. Anyway, let's say hello to Stony, shall we?
Hey Stony, how are you, brother?
Hey, what's up? Can you guys hear me?
Yep.
Yeah,
what's up, guys? So Tone, I was at your first unconfiscatable conference. Was that 2019? Like bottom of the bear market? It was like Bitcoin's at $3,000.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I got a question. So have you read the bankruptcy filing at all for Celsius?
Not really, because I mostly don't care. We had that show. It's you saw my message to the Celsius man himself in 2019 that he's doing something impossible, and here we are. But enlighten us on anything interesting there. Look, here's what I say about these projects.
You still hear me? I got some.
Yeah, we hear you.
You hear me still?
Yeah, we got you. Can you hear us?
Yeah.
So real quick. So on a lot of these projects, especially Celsius, I just have to hear the basics of the project, and I kind of know exactly how scammy it is. And me digging further is only gonna prove to me what I already know. I have no reason to look at that bankruptcy to know how shady it was under the hood. But feel free to enlighten us of exactly how shady it was under the hood.
Well, no, my only thing is, you remember the Plus token Ponzi scheme from 2019? How Bitcoin went to So in that bankruptcy filing, they're basically alleging that Majinski was running a Ponzi scheme in early 2021, and that I'm thinking like that rise to 62 or whatever it was because of Majinski taking the Bitcoin, buying, sell, and just the whole market was getting frothy. So I just wondering if there's anything.
This is how BlockFi got in trouble, right? Like BlockFi was offering such a huge interest rate, and no one really knew exactly why, unless you really dug into their filings. And the way they were able to offer that giant interest rate is that they were loading up on Barry Silbert's Bitcoin trust. They load up on the trust, they wait 6 months, and then they sell the GBTC tokens at like on average 20% premium. And this was one of the reasons why Bitcoin went up so much in 2020 and into early 2021, is because GBTC, or the Grayscale's Bitcoin Trust, was buying for a 9 to 16-month period. On an average day, they were buying twice the mined Bitcoin supply. Grayscale was buying up so much Bitcoin, they drove the price of Bitcoin higher. And BlockFi was one of their biggest buyers of that trust. And then 6 months later, they convert the trust Bitcoin into GBTC tokens, sell it on the open market, collect a 20% premium, and then pay out their people like their 10% or 7%, whatever BlockFi was offering. Eventually, the market turned and the premium went away because too much GBTC shares were created. Once that premium went negative, BlockFi got caught with their pants down. And all of a sudden, Grayscale wasn't buying twice the daily mined Bitcoin, they were buying zero. And we're still in this mess until there's an equilibrium.
It's just a huge centralized risk. It's why I don't like having like this whole thing about corporates buying Bitcoin. I don't think that's necessarily a good thing. Like it's just a honeypot, and there's no clarity on like what they're doing for custody. And if they're all using Coinbase custody, that's a gigantic mistake, you know. And then all the different things that Coinbase is coming out with in their filings for the SEC about uncredited investors, and it's a bad situation. Like the whole point of Bitcoin is to take custody of your coins and not rely on third parties. Like I have a son that was just born, and I started reading the Bitcoin white paper to him, and it's like you forget with all the noise about how simple and straightforward Satoshi made it for everybody. And that's kind of the problem with like trading big. Like I don't trade Bitcoin, I never have. I know I'm an awful trader. I know like the market is going to beat me every single time. So I just buy and hold and just continue my day job so that I can stack more Bitcoin. Like Mechanic, I listen to you all the time as well. Like what makes this bear market so rough is that, you know, that early move to 63 or whatever, you know, I was like, oh, wow, okay. We might be approaching like hyper Bitcoinization, or, you know, where, you know, that inflection point. So like I've never seen so many like OGs like get wrecked or like take leverage out before. Like, and then on the way down, like servicing that loan and that leverage is just.
Did you get fucked by that?
Bad news. Yeah.
Sorry to hear that, man.
I don't use any leverage ever. I've never taken out a loan or anything, but like I've seen so many like, so I've watched Tone since before he had his channel. Like when he was on World Crypto Network, he would hop in there and do the TD9, like all that stuff. And I've seen many traders like Murad, he got wrecked. Like at the Unconfiscatable conference, he was very cocky, and I was like in the workout room next to him, like tweeting at him like, you're gonna get wrecked, and he didn't even know I was right next to him, like tweeting at him. That's kind of why I enjoy like anonymity. It's like your reputation is more important than your face, like long term. Like you don't need to attribute a face to a reputation necessarily. And I think like moving forward, like once we solve the reputation problem in Bitcoin for, you know, like trusting people without having KYC AML, like once that's solved, like it's game over for banks. Yeah.
No, you're right. I completely agree with you. And so most people come to my channel to find out what I think about the price of Bitcoin. And I personally don't recommend trading on leverage unless you are using it strategically to keep less Bitcoin on an exchange. So I'll give you an example. So if you had let's say someone that has 10 Bitcoin, and he wants to use one of those Bitcoin in order to trade. Look, trading it's like gambling. I mean, we play poker. People go gambling. Most don't do well, but there are professional gamblers that do well. Most people don't. Few do. But everyone wants to gamble a little. So you can do it as long as you have proper risk management. So if you have, say, 10 Bitcoin and you want to start trading with one of them, hey, maybe you'll be one of the few that succeeds. You'll turn that 1 into 5 over a year or two. It's possible. So the way to use leverage is to lower your risk. Instead of sending one entire Bitcoin on the exchange and leaving it there while trading that one Bitcoin, you can send 0.1 Bitcoin to the exchange, and in your trades leverage it 10 to 1, but you still keep the same parameters of your trade, but now you're leveraging 10 to 1 in order not to risk the entire one Bitcoin sitting on an exchange. Like if you send an entire Bitcoin to an exchange and you're using 0.1 on any given trade, just so that you don't blow it all on one trade. So this way, if you lose that 0.1, you still have 0.9 to work with. You can do the same thing, only send 0.1 to the exchange and leverage it 10x. So there are ways to just use leverage in order to lessen your exposure of Bitcoin of someone else holding the private key of that Bitcoin.
Yeah,
No,
but
I completely agree. I agree with you. I'm just saying, like with Celsius, have you sat in on any of these Celsius spaces? They think there's this conspiracy by like Corey Klippstein that we're responsible for Celsius collapsing.
Well, this is why I don't do that. This is why I
It's
don't do the
crazy.
crypto scam podcast anymore.
it's beyond
Like,
ridiculous. Like you exposed our scam and caused us to collapse. It's totally our fault. Like, come on.
well, yeah, and so like what I'm saying is like, Tony, you have a reputation. Like people trust you, and so like 99 out of 100 traders are going to get wrecked. It's just the way it works. And I wouldn't really agree that trading's gambling, because if you're gambling, you're taking a risk knowing that the odds aren't in your favor. Like that's how I define gambling. Like you go to a casino, like the house, the odds are stacked in their favor. So I don't necessarily agree that trading and gambling are the same thing. Like you can turn trading into gambling, but you know, I kind of make a distinction that way.
It's a different thing, but there's a lot of parallels. I hit my own voice back when I talk, Sony, which is makes me think I'm talking over someone else. It's a different thing because if you have insider knowledge, if you're
Hey,
brand
Stoney,
knowledge,
you should mute because we're getting an echo through you.
yeah, thanks.
Sorry,
So-
I'm in my truck. It's a loud diesel truck, so.
Yeah,
No,
so
we don't hear a truck, but when Mechanic or myself speak, and if you're not muted, we're getting a few like an echo. We're just hearing our own voice back to us.
yeah, it's fucked up. So yeah, all I'm saying is if you're Brian Armstrong and you know you're about to list a shitcoin in 3 weeks and you buy it before you list it, if you're Nancy Pelosi, if you're trading with knowledge that means you know what the market is going to do, or you can be 90% certain of it, there's no way you'd call that gambling, like in the same sense, because as you say, the odds are in your favor in that circumstance. But the odds can be even worse if you're trading and you don't know what you're doing. If you're using the perfect technical analysis, but you just don't have the connections to the inside of the industry, it can move against you without you doing anything wrong. You can have all your stop losses. Like every time you do a losing trade, your stop loss gets hit every time. You lose a bit of money. There's a fee to trade. Even if you keep breaking even with all your trades, you're just losing money on the house fees, right? So it can be worse.
Yeah, I mean, and then people, you know, in general, overestimate their abilities, like in every aspect of life. Like, and it takes a lot. It's like a huge ego check to even like have that realization that you're not as good at something as you think you are. You know, and that just gets back to humans in general. Is like we specialize in something because that's how actual like capitalism and efficiency actually work, not being a master of everything because it's literally impossible. Like we specialize because that's how humans as a species is so successful.
Yeah, and I think the times I've made a few trades over the years where it's just been no brainer. When they first denied the ETF in March 2017, I think it was, I bought. I think we crashed down to $900 from 1,300, and I was like, "This is obvious. I'm just going to buy this crash here. This means nothing. This has got nothing to do with anything, but the market's tanking. I'm going to buy." So I bought a whole bunch of Bitcoin for $900 that were $1,300 previously. I saw the price, I got out of bed and just bought. That was easy. A COVID crash, crashing from what, 8 or 9,000 all the way down to 3,800 in one day. Again, no brainer buy. And I had a UK bank account, so I didn't even have money sitting on an exchange. I just sent everything I had in my bank account to a UK exchange and bought Bitcoin. And those are the ones where I don't feel like I can really turn down the opportunity. I wish I was able to buy right now, but I got too happy last year in 2021 buying in the 40,000s and the 50,000s. So I just nuked all my dry powder, and my expenses are so high right now that I can't buy. But if I could buy at 17, 18, 19,000 over the last few weeks, I would have bought with every penny I had if I just had if I still had some dry powder. But is this trading? Kind of, because Tone's a trader, right? And Tone will buy, maybe he'll execute 3 or 4 trades a year, right? And those are just the ones where it's like, this is 99% going to make me money doing this trade. So that's the approach, I think. The problem I find with trading most of is just that people do it professionally and they sit there, 19 hours a day staring at 6 screens. I'm like, you're looking for the trades, and then you're going to have weak probability. I think it's about sitting it out most of the time and going hard when you've got a really, really obvious trade. I think that's a good approach.
Right. And I mean, the hardest thing sometimes to do is nothing. Like, we always think that we're capable of moving around the market faster than it can snap back at us. And like, for 99% of people, you're better off keeping your fiat job and dollar cost averaging and just having a, like, when I first got into Bitcoin, it was right after Gox collapse. And I'm like, okay, well, if this doesn't kill Bitcoin, like, I'm like all in. And that's just like, I know a thing right now is my thesis, like, everyone's like, oh, my thesis, like, I wrote a thesis in 2014, late 2014. And it was something like, okay, Bitcoin seems to thrive off chaos. And then it was and then, like, when Trump was elected, I had all this money, and I'm like, okay, well, this is going to be a complete shit show. So I'm going to put everything I have into Bitcoin. And then, that was late 2015, 2016. Then we had the 17 bubble.
But Trump turned out to be
Trump
great.
was amazing.
By the way, you see this candle yesterday? So the market was crashing on Thursday, and Friday it had a big day. And I hate assigning news events to stocks, but Trump formally announced he's going to run for 2024. And I think that significantly helped reversing the market.
How did I miss that?
Yep.
It's a good sign.
The media's not going to cover that. The same reason that the media is not covering Hunter Biden's 450 gigs of iPhone data being hacked. They're just going to gaslight everybody. Like, that's all it is.
All right. So we can do Trump announces 2024 run. Top stories right there 1 day ago. And that helped reverse the market. Right? Remember what I've been saying on my streams, that to me, the best catalyst possible to reverse the stock market falling is Joe Biden stepping down, or confidence that somebody like Trump and someone that's actually capitalist has a chance to win, because market moves on expectation. So I think that Trump announcing he's running for 2024 is going to significantly help confidence that there'll be capitalism again, and stocks should do well.
Well,
see, Trump actually didn't announce, but it did hit the news wires. Trump may announce, but it's supposed to be soon. Trump considering announcing 2024 bid in the fall. So it was all over the headlines, and these headlines immediately helped reverse the market, and that momentum continued into Friday.
So he's going to be 78 when he runs.
No more. He's going to be over 80.
No, he's 76 right now, and
no, he's not.
That's what Wikipedia says.
Trump's 76.
That's what Wikipedia says.
Yeah. Okay. So he was born in June, so he just turned 76.
Mhm.
So 77, yeah, he'll be 78. You're right. But at least he's in good cognitive shape. And but the Democrats will here's going to be the Democrats.
He's demented. Yeah, they'll pretend he's got
right. They're going to say we can't have a president that's old. We just had one. Look how bad that turned out.
Well, that would be a great thing for the Russia dynamic, though. I think Russia's been made so popular, and Trump. I don't think Trump has those kind of principles.
No, here's the problem. Here's the problem with Trump and Russia. So, having Trump, this is all my opinion. Trump had respect for Putin, and Putin had respect for Trump. And if Trump was in office, I'm not saying this conflict would not have happened, but the probability of this conflict happening would have been significantly smaller for two reasons. One, because of the mutual respect between them, they might have actually worked something out to avoid bloodshed. That's reason number one. Reason number two is Putin would have potentially reconsidered attacking Ukraine because Trump might have actually fought him back, which Biden did not. And he isn't. And I don't believe that he will. I'm not saying that Biden should. It's debatable whether the U.S. should put troops on the ground and help Ukraine. I have my opinions on it. Everyone has their opinions on it. But the probability that troops would have gone to Ukraine to actually fight was going to be greater under Trump than under Biden, because Biden can't make these decisions. And there's also no respect for Biden from Putin, but there would be respect and potential fear that Trump's crazy from Putin. So a lot of this, everything, like the whole game theory aspect, becomes very, very different if Trump is president today. Now, here's the flip side of the problem. Trump did not want to arm the Ukrainians in 2017. He didn't want to do it, but he got so much pressure from the political class that if he doesn't arm Ukraine with military, then he's a Putin shill and he's a Putin stooge. And Trump was put in no position other than sending a bunch of weapons to Ukraine in 2017 and continuing to train the Ukrainian troops into NATO standards. Now, that put Ukrainians in a better position to take on and fight the Russians when they eventually invaded in 2022. Now, had Trump not done that, had Trump ended the arming of Ukraine and the training of Ukrainian troops, would Russia have gone in with the intention of demilitarizing Ukraine? If Ukraine wasn't very militarized, I don't know. They might have still done it. They might not have done it. And Russia would have definitely had an easier time going through Ukraine than they do today because Trump armed them. Now, I'm being politically neutral here. Is it better or worse that the Ukrainians are able to fight back to this extent? Well, in a way, it's better. Russia is moving slowly through their country. But in a way, you can make the argument that it's worse because if Ukraine wasn't an armed state, then they would have surrendered immediately and a lot more lives would have been saved. We can debate whether their future would have been better under a Russian favorited leader like Yanukovych or a young global leader of Klaus Schwab like Zelensky. That is, again, a completely debatable position. But if Trump did not arm Ukraine, this could have already ended either with Russia taking over Ukraine completely, or at least up to the Dnieper River, or Ukraine would not have been able to fight back. So these are it's just a completely different dynamic that would have happened. But Trump did arm Ukraine. Trump did train Ukraine, and they are fighting back. But Russia is still clearly winning.
Understood. But that's a little bit of a tangent because I'm talking about what would happen if I agree with all that. But I'm saying in 2024, Trump is a shallow guy. And he is the kind of guy that will just stab an old friend in the back for political reasons. I've seen him do it many times before. So if the prevailing wind in America is fuck Russia, if you even get a united, that can even unite the left already hate Russia. So getting the right to hate Russia is not a very difficult thing.
I'm gonna challenge you on that statement a little bit. When you say Trump would stab someone in the back for political reasons, and you've seen him do it before, it's kind of like, well, it's a completely useless analogy, but we've been talking about gambling. It's kind of like, oh, that guy gambles. I've seen him do it before. He went to a casino and he spent 4 hours playing blackjack there. And you're like, yeah, I did it once or twice a year. And then, but look at this guy. He's at this casino every night gambling away. Oh, no, but that doesn't matter. That's what he does. He's a degenerate gambler, right? So when you say Trump would backstab someone for political reasons, it's happened before. Yeah, we've all gone to a casino, but we're not all degenerate gamblers. Someone like Biden, that's literally been his life for 40 years. Stabbing someone in the back for political reasons for 40 years straight. You can't say Trump does it because he's done it 3 times. Biden has done it, 1,000,000 times.
Fair enough. I guess it ties back to what I was asking you about earlier, which is at some point well, I don't know, because you're making this point about Putin being the world leader we can rely on to stand up to the WEF agenda.
Not exactly what I said, but it's kind of like he's the only world leader that seems to be openly fighting them. And he's the only one with the military to even try. So it's see if China gets into one of these wars, it's for completely different reasons. This is the big difference. Putin wants to, he wants to maintain the Russian culture and way of life, which is not on board with this, with this rainbow and unicorn view of the West.
I hope
go on.
I hope you're right. But if you're right, am I really gonna move my fucking family to St. Petersburg?
No.
But Canada is that bad that I am. You know me. You know I've been trying to move to another country for years.
Yeah, look, I still prefer Latin America because Latin America in this mess, if Russia and the US start to kill each other politically, economically, physically, and the Latin America could get from under the thumb of the United States influence. And that whole continent would now kind of be, some countries might align a little bit with China, some countries might align with Russia or the BRICS. I want to see as many Latin American countries enter the BRICS for an economic union versus anything the US has to offer. And then those countries have some ties to China, have some ties to Russia, and they may still have some ties with Europe a little bit, and that becomes these neutral places. Even India, I don't think I'd move to India, just culturally it's too different. And I don't think I'd move to Russia, even though culturally I'm similar. I'll tell you where I'm not moving to. I'm not moving to Ukraine. Okay. I wouldn't move there. But I'm looking at Latin America. I still think Latin America has a good shot. And maybe for our grandkids, it would be Africa. If we're accepted there. We'll see.
Fair enough. But what's Latin America when it comes to the global agenda? My only comfort there really is that they don't have the infrastructure to do that shit to their population, even if they want to.
Yeah. Yeah, and also you should be able to move around there. Bitcoin is really popping. That's great. Look at that, 21.5. We should be sitting right at the top of this resistance. And
the RSI looks good.
It looks good, but I would still, stay in cash. Let Bitcoin prove it to us. Similar consolidation as before. Last time we went down.
No, it feels better to me. I don't know why, but it does.
Tone Mechanic, I'm going to have to pop out of here. Thanks for the invite, though. I appreciate it.
Yeah, man, you should, I don't know, if I do these like kind of streams where we mostly talk about non-Bitcoin price and trading stuff, you should join.
I'm down. Just let me know. I'm always listening to your streams. I always do. It's, I usually work about 12 hours a day, and I'm just, I keep track of everything in Bitcoin and kind of crypto and try to call out the scams. So that's how I pass my time. But thanks again.
Where are you based, like in the world? You don't need to name a specific place, just a general location.
I'm out of the Midwest.
Okay. Gotcha.
Yeah. So I'm from Minnesota. So
oh man,
when I got into Bitcoin, there was no Bitcoiners around. Like I was listening to you, Vortex, and Andreas Antonopoulos to get my Bitcoin.
John Sef's from Minnesota.
Yeah, actually, he grew up about, well, I don't know if I should dox myself, but maybe 10 minutes from where I live now. So yeah, he's a local. So
well, enjoy the nice weather. You got like maybe 3 more weeks.
Right, and then it's wintertime again. I got to get my I'm going to start mining at home, so I got to get my ASIC set up for winter so I don't freeze to death.
Yep. All right, man. Thanks for joining us. I'm maybe wrapping this stream up. I kind of should probably hang out with some family members.
Yeah, I need to jump off soon too. But yeah, this is looking pretty nice on the weekly. If we close in this area, it's a pretty bullish candle.
It does. It does look nice. I'm a little bit optimistic going into next week, man. The moving averages have crossed. It looks great. I still want to make sure this candle closes at this price or above. And it's possible that finally, Bitcoin is getting into some good hands for the long term. But if Celsius starts liquidating that Bitcoin, it's going to get tricky again.
True.
All right, guys.
Yeah, that might be a 10-year endeavor, though. It might be another Mt. Gox sort of thing where it all just gets locked up. Hey, kitty.
Yeah, there you go. There's the cat. Now we can see him.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm not a cat person. Give me like a big dog or even a wolf, and I'll be fine.
What do you think happens with Nancy Pelosi? Nothing.
I don't know. Eventually, she'll die of old age. Eventually, these like the worse the politician, or like the longer they live. It's so freaking frustrating.
Yeah, but I mean, she's just balls out insider trading. Like everyone knows it now. Like,
yeah,
I don't know how the fuck they get away with it, man.
It's bad. I mean, there needs to be laws. There needs to be laws not allowing them to participate in speculative markets.
Anyway, all right. I'm gonna start applying for my Russian citizenship.
That one's challenging.
I know. I've worked in Russia before. They had to give my passport to the Russian embassy for a week just to get permission to go there.
Yeah, no, I don't think I'm eligible at all, so I don't think it's even possible for me anymore because I've already surrendered that one. But it'll be interesting where the world goes. It really is. I'm going to be going over to Kazakhstan and Uzbekistan. There are two neighboring countries of Russia in the south. They're still fairly aligned with Russia, and not to the level of Belarus, but they're fairly aligned in economic unions. Kazakhstan, for example, needs Russia to be aligned with. Otherwise, China could just, invade them. So, look, you have to be friendly with your neighbors. If we are living in an anarchist world, if there is no police, you have to get along with your neighbor. If you are, if you have your house with your wife and one little child, and your neighbor, is 10 to 20 years older than you, and he's got 5 kids, all in their 20s, and there is no police to call, there is no army to call, and you have to get along with that neighbor because clearly you can't fight them, right? And they have more. Guns even out the playing field, but in general, this is the arena we're playing in. There is no alien to call to tell Russia to stop. So in this situation, Ukraine needs to understand that they are living next to a superior power militarily and by the stand of population. And America didn't come to help. The police guy, you call the police and the police say, no, not our problem, you deal with it, right? So if you know that's going to be the end result when you call the police, you need to,
Stop calling the police.
well, you need to make sure that you don't do something that causes that person to attack. And I know the media wants to pretend like Russia attacked for no reason whatsoever, but that's a lie. There is a reason. There was multiple reasons, and these reasons could have been resolved. There were 8 years to resolve these reasons, and no one was interested in resolving them. And here we are.
So it looks like they're going to, they're not going to go to Dnipro. It looks like they're going to take Sloviansk, or after they take Siversk and Bakhmut, and they'll take Kramatorsk. And then there's like the massive amounts of defense set up between there and the Dnipro River, right? And it looks like that's where they're going to make another bid for diplomacy, right? Russia's going to say, okay, we're going to stop. We've liberated the Eastern territories with our special military operation. Let's make a deal, right? And the Biden administration is going to push and say, absolutely not. You have to fight. You must kill every last man, woman, and child in Ukraine while we continue to launder money and pretend that you have a chance of winning. Is that about the right assessment in your opinion?
I don't know if Russia is going to be the one that's making the phone call. Let's make a deal. I think they will just keep going, and they will keep going. Right now, there is a lot of resistance, but if they chew through that resistance, I think they'll keep going up to the following limit. Like right now, Ukraine, let's assume this red line is the new border between Russian territory and Ukraine. Now, Ukraine can move weapons up until this new Russian territory. And they can now fire these weapons over this border and kill Russians. Russia will keep moving west and across the board until the line is in such an area that if a Ukrainian weapon fires from this side of the line, the only people they will be able to kill are Ukrainians. Does that make sense?
Oh, I see. Yeah. But
they will keep moving. And like, for example, if Poland pulled up their army to this border trying to kill Russians, I mean, they can in Kaliningrad, right? But forget Kaliningrad, right? If Poland puts their missiles right here, these missiles cannot kill Russians. They could only kill Belarusians. So Russia will keep going And they will even allow Ukrainians to live in their zone until those that are still firing missiles can only kill Ukrainians and not Russians.
Yeah, makes sense. But I
If
mean,
there is no peace treaty.
Yeah.
If there is no peace treaty, yeah.
and I don't think there will be, right? But it does seem to me like Russia wants there to be a diplomatic resolution to it. Like maybe I'm naive, but I think they want that. I don't think they want to occupy a hostile Western Ukraine.
Well, I don't think they ever wanted to invade Ukraine because like at least 25% of all Russians are half Ukrainians, like myself. It's like, look, Russia didn't want to invade Ukraine, just like America doesn't want to invade Canada. But if suddenly Canada is loading up with Chinese military, the US is going to invade Canada.
Well, it is
and
loaded up with Chinese military, actually.
And trust me, there is a lot less American Canadians than there are Russian Ukrainians. Like Russia and Ukraine are Russians and Ukrainians are way more similar, are way more like what do you call it, genetically connected than Canadians and Americans.
Yeah, I agree. But yeah, the reason I'm saying this is because yesterday we had two announcements that from the Russian side that made me go, there is like a plateau approaching, because obviously right now they're expanding, right? They're definitely going to take Sloviansk after they take Siversk. Like they're definitely doing that. They've been shelling it. They're going to expand in that area. We know they're going to do it. But after that comes a point where there's a sort of a cessation of expansion. At least there'll still be violence, of course, but Russia is taking that moment to go, can we stop this? It seems like that was the offer they made. And I think the White House or some American spokesperson already said in advance, we will not accept whatever they offer. So people have already, stated their position. It seems to me that Russia like maybe they're just trying to appear reasonable, and America is calling their bluff and saying we're not gonna play along with that. We know you're not really gonna do it. So I don't know exactly.
So look, we got anytime we talk about this, we get all these questions, right? So Andreas asks, "Hey Tone, do you think Russia is punishing accordingly to the crime of Ukraine? Are they fair? Are all the dead Ukrainians a fair deal? Does a punishment fit the crime, do you think?" Well, it's these are all opinions, right? I mean, like I'm thank you for asking me my opinion. But in my view is if you have a military, if your country has a military, that's what happens when there's a war and someone from the military dies. They're in the military. That's literally their job to go fight for their country, right? So it's not about fair. It's about two militaries fighting. Now, do innocent civilians get killed? Yeah, and that is of course not fair. Now, Russia has stated many times they are only targeting military targets. Now, do non-military people get killed? Of course they do, right? When there is a Ukrainian military meeting taking place in a civilian zone and Russia wants to eliminate those military targets, there will be civilian casualties. Now, that's what happened recently in one of the cities. I forgot which one. That's exactly what happens. On the flip side, Ukraine is bombing Donetsk. Ukraine is bombing Donetsk, and many Russian civilians or Russian-aligned Ukrainians, Ukrainians that would rather be Russians that live there, that are civilians, are also getting killed. So there are, civilian casualties on both sides. That is war. That's not a war crime. That is war. And the best thing to do to stop that is to avoid the war. And for 8 years, Russia has been explaining to Ukraine what needs to be done to avoid the war. And eventually, they stopped doing it diplomatically and started doing it with tanks. So if you know tanks are coming and you have a specific list of reasons to avoid those tanks coming, And in my opinion, those reasons were very reasonable. Like you can disagree with me whether Russian demands to avoid bloodshed were reasonable or unreasonable. I feel their demands to avoid bloodshed were very reasonable. The world never saw those demands. I didn't pay attention to those demands. They were not discussed. But these were literally demands from Russia to avoid their tanks on Ukrainian soil. Those demands were ignored. Those demands were laughed at. And eventually, Russia moved their tanks in. Whether that's a just or a fair punishment is the wrong question. It doesn't, my opinion to this doesn't matter. The only opinion that matters is Putin's, and he's made his opinion clear.
So, family of British Prime Minister frontrunner Rishi Sunak reportedly runs a China-linked World Economic Forum partner company pushing for digital ID and social credit scores. I mean, that's a headline, isn't it? So Boris Johnson got canned, and the new guy is Klaus Schwab's underling. Great.
Probably. Yeah, probably. Because what happens is, like, Boris Johnson was supposed to be from the Conservative Party. And unfortunately, Boris Johnson was pretending to be a conservative, and he was a full-blown Marxist Democrat. And now, because the Conservative Party put up a Marxist Democrat as their president, as their prime minister, and that prime minister got, removed from office, obviously, they're not going to trust that party to put in another leader. So now you're going to go with the opposition party, which is openly Marxist Democrat. So whoever Britain puts in there next is going to be worse than Boris Johnson. Congratulations. Canada, by the way, might suffer the same problem.
You said Trudeau is out or done or something earlier. How the
I don't
hell?
know. Like, I think Canadians love him so much, they're just going to reelect him.
Dude, no way. This guy is entrenched. We'll have to overhaul the entire political system and go for a full-on revolution to get rid of this fucking idiot. It's not going anywhere. Absolutely, just like he's dug himself in deep. He's pulling up all the ladders after him as well. Like, he's getting rid of all the possibility of any speech against him in the media, including online. It's getting to the point where if you have an anti-Trudeau channel on YouTube, he can tell YouTube they've got to take it down and to fit in with the laws in Canada. And it actually does fit the laws now. They've made Bill C-11, I think it is. I mean, it's...
Yeah, it's really not much different than the laws in Russia. I bet you there is more political prisoners in Canada than in Russia. And I think Russia has more people than Canada does. So,
dude, I'm gonna jump off.
Like what do you call like what's that woman, the one that organized the truckers rally? She's still in prison, no parole.
Tia something. I can't remember.
Yeah.
Her name. Yeah, I know who you mean.
I mean,
Tamara
she's still in
Lynch.
prison.
Tamara Lynch.
She's a political prisoner, right? How is that different than what what Putin's accused of doing? How exactly is that different?
Yeah, I mean, it's the same thing, but that doesn't make me want to move, or I don't want to support Russia.
Well, it makes you move from Canada, right?
Yes, but I'm having difficulty getting out of here. It's not easy, man. Yeah, it's
I don't recommend moving to Russia.
No. Yeah, but at the end of the day, I want to live in a country that I'm proud of. And because Americans had that. Americans were legitimately proud of their country for decades because it was a great country.
Well, Floridians are pretty proud of Florida and DeSantis. So, like, if Florida was to secede from the Union, I'd love to live there.
Yeah, I agree. I would too. I would be proud to live in those states. Absolutely. Oklahoma, Texas, Florida, a few of the other red states. I would be proud to live in those places. And it would be nice because I'm embarrassed to live in Canada. I hate every cent I pay of taxation. I hate it. I hate the people it's going to. I hate what they're doing with the money. And it's not a nice way to live. You want to be proud of your country. I always mocked patriotism, but I'm realizing it's a great thing to be proud of your country. There are just so few countries in the world right now that you could conceivably be proud of.
Yeah, I agree. Well, like Floridians should be proud of how Florida handled the COVID lockdowns. So at least they're proud of their state. Like I wouldn't be proud if I was living in California. I wouldn't be proud of California or New York or Chicago. But if I lived in Florida, I'd be proud of it. Texas, maybe. Some of those other states that have no people, like Wyoming and North South Dakota. I think South Dakota, North Dakota went crazy.
Yeah, Montana, Idaho, Utah, all these kinds of Iowa. Like those are the kinds of states, right? Arkansas. Like they're good places, the flyover states.
Yeah.
I mean, you nailed it. New York, California, Washington, Oregon, they're just beyond repair, man.
I mean, I think the Trump supporters are still pretty proud of America. They're embarrassed to kind of be here, but that's what January 6th was about. It wasn't about the insurrection. It was about, being proud to be an American, waving an American flag, but that didn't work out very well for many of them.
Yeah, well, it's a bunch of people. Someone just got sentenced to 3 years for being a part of that quote insurrection.
Yeah, I saw that video. There was like I don't know, like a 75-year-old grandma is going to prison for that.
Ridiculous. But
and that doctor, the one that was anti-COVID, she's going to prison.
Simone Gold.
Yeah,
60 days in prison she gets. Ridiculous. She's a lawyer too, so I'm wondering how she didn't manage to.
She's a doctor and a lawyer. Yeah.
Right.
But it doesn't matter. I mean, it's a kangaroo court, right? Like it doesn't matter.
But that's again. I want to be proud of my country. You can't have kangaroo courts in America. You can't do that shit. If you're gonna fuck up the Second Amendment, if you're gonna make it so that stuff that is written black and white in the Constitution about if you think an election has been fucked with, you have a duty to protest against
that's
it.
That's what people did on Jan 6th,
And they did it peacefully, and there they are getting thrown in jail for it, it's a farce. But I mean, America's been farcical since the Patriot Act. People are satisfied going back to pre-COVID levels. I'm not. The civil liberties need to come way back, which makes me think it needs to get way worse so that there's another revolution. The price is doing great, man.
I know. Look at it. I really thought that the samurai top and hourly chart was going to be it for the short term, but maybe not. So look at the 4 hour. Oh, 4 hours just getting started. No, this looks great.
Yeah, this looks great. I might take another lump out of my mortgage at this rate. The Bank of Canada just YOLO'd up 100 basis points. So my mortgage is going to crush me in a few months.
Wait, is it like a variable rate?
Yeah, it's every year it gets it's not the kind of mortgage that people usually have for very long. It's a private lender with a high interest rate because I can't get real mortgages. Canada you have to have a real normal job. Like I work as a contractor for an American company, and they're like, so you could just get fired at any minute, right? And I'm like, yeah, but I'm not going to. Here's the contract I have. I'm basically an employee. They just don't want the headache of they're a startup, right? So they don't want to exist as a corporate entity in Canada and then have to pay literally twice as much tax because of one employee. So they'd rather just hire me as a contractor. But that fucks up my ability to prove income to banks. So Canadian banks are like, you don't have any money. And I'm like, I do. And I've got some Bitcoin too. And then they're like, lol, if anything, that makes us want to lend to you even less. So, and there's all these protection laws here. I'm like, look, can't you just lend me the money? And if I don't pay it, you get my house. They're like, no, because we won't be able to take your house.
Yeah, no, it's just like these stupid non-common sense. Like I was applying for like a residency. I'm not going to state where, and it required a certain level of income. And the way they define income is, well, you should have some kind of a job that pays you. I think it was like something small, like 2,000 a month or like 3,000 a month.
Mm-hmm.
And I have my, company, but I'm lazy. So I would transfer from the company to my personal bank account in lump sums. So I would transfer like 15 grand, 20 grand, and I would live on that. And sometimes I would transfer like 20, 25 grand, and that's enough for me to live for like 3 months or something, like with travel and everything. And then when my personal account starts to run dry, I replenish it again with a lump sum. And I got rejected, even though I had way more money in my personal account than their minimum requirement of 3,000 a month, because I didn't set up like an automatic transfer of they didn't see that consistency, $2,500 every month,
Right.
getting in there. So I'm like, that's insane. So I just set that up. I'm like, I'm still doing the lump sum thing, but now in addition to that, I have a very specific transfer 2 times a month for like $2,000, creating my salary at $4,000 a month consistently. And that would be okay.
All right. Well, get it done. It helps when you want to buy stuff. But I mean, if you're moving to Latin America, no one cares. No, there's no credit anywhere in Latin America. You just got to buy it cash, right?
Yeah.
I mean, you can take the loan out back in America and transfer everything, I guess. Maybe. But you got to buy through a company anyway in Mexico. But I don't think you're heading to Mexico, are you? Maybe you are.
It's an option. It's one of several options. I'm keeping all my options open. They're mostly in Latin America, definitely not Europe. I could not care less. And
Europe is done, absolutely done.
Asia is also pretty much done. I'm really looking at Latin America with, I don't know, Dubai in the winter or something. Though Latin America is also nice in the winter, but I'm looking at Latin America, guys. There's like, and I'm gonna set up a place in like 4 or 5 different countries in Latin America. So if one of them elects, a Marxist, I can just move.
The trouble with Latin America, I'm finding, is the way they treat kids is not great. Mexico specifically, they're all in uniforms and masks all day. I don't like that. It's stupid, and there's no pushing back against it either. Like, yeah, I don't know. When I see like an army of 11-year-olds walking down the road at 8 in the morning in uniforms and blue masks, I'm like, this is really stupid, and it's not going anywhere. That's my one complaint with Mexico, because I got kids and I want my kids to go. I'd much rather have my kids go to a school in Florida, right? Where maybe they ban critical race theory from being taught. They're certainly not telling kids about their sexual preferences, and they're not forced to wear masks. They're wearing their own clothes. That sounds good to me. That's where I would go if I could, but moving to America is such a hard thing to achieve. It really is.
All right. It was good hanging out.
Yeah.
Financial Summit. I have a bunch of room, honestly. And we have a tweet out there. I'm going to start reaching out to some of the people that have replied to the tweet as to what value they can bring. Oh, this was the spaces. This was the NFT spaces. Oh, this is a different one, though. I was talking about what is this? Clubs building Bitcoin projects. Oh, that's cool. Nice screenshot. All right. Anyway, all right, guys. I'm gonna get going. It was fun hanging out. I'm gonna get back to smoking my ribs and talk to you all on the next one. Bye, guys.